The loss of a loved one can be especially painful during the holidays. That's because families are together, yet someone is missing. The grieving process for children can be the difficult time of year. And joining me with some ideas on healing is Beth Buxton. She's a funeral director at Edwards Funeral Services, along with grief counselor Dana Zager, and she's from Zussman Hospice. And thank you both for joining me. And a topic that a lot of times, unfortunately, people don't talk about, do they, Beth? And that's the most important thing, is to talk about it.
It really is. It's important to talk to our children. They need that communication so they can form some sort of comfort level when it comes to death.
You at Edwards Funeral Service, you reach out to these folks and you offer that yourself, don't you? You offer some grief support for families.
We definitely do. We have grief support by appointment so they can have one-on-one counseling at no charge. We also have small group counseling that we do once a month. And then, of course, we do different remembrance celebrations during the year for their loved ones. And
then you partner with people like Dana at Zussman who offer even increased support for families. I would think, Dana, that the holidays are a time that are especially difficult because you're supposed to be happy. And if you're the person who's grieving and you're not, you feel like, I'm so out of the loop. I'm not connected to anybody.
Absolutely, and I think with parents and caregivers of children in particular, they feel they have to mask how they feel, and actually that's quite the opposite thing to do. It's better to have your feelings and let children know that it's okay to be in touch with what they need to be in touch with emotionally.
Do children grieve differently than adults?
They can. I think sometimes the best way to gauge if your child is struggling is to look at behavioral changes. They may be more quiet than usual. They may act out more intensely. They may try to keep things from you to keep you from feeling the pain that they're dealing with as well.
I thought this was interesting, and you sent me some suggestions of how you advise folks to help grieving children. And one is not to do away with tradition.
Right.
And when you think, well, you know what, we used to celebrate this with Dad all the time and he's not here, so we're not going to do it. Why is it important to keep those?
I think it helps keep the memory of that individual alive for the child. And children do seek normalcy and they seek familiarity. And I think if you suddenly switch everything in addition to the loss, then you're giving them not much footing to stand on. It's very hard for them.
It is important, Beth, to talk about these feelings, especially during the holidays.
It is important. Just like Dana was stating, a child wants to feel like they're an important part of the family and they want to be included in important family events. And so a death is an important part of life. I mean, it's going to happen to all of us. I think children need to realize that they're part of that. They can be part of the funeral arrangement, and it's okay to grieve. It's okay to express that sadness. And adults need to realize they need to feel comfortable expressing sadness in front of children.
Well, and that was my next question. As an adult or a family member, and you're at a family gathering, and Dana, I'll direct this to you, is it appropriate or should it be done that someone ask the child, how you doing? I know that Mom's not here. Is it tough for you?
Yeah, I think they can do that, and certainly if they sense a child is struggling, it's okay to check in and really let the child have the feelings and to talk about your own feelings to help them see that it's okay to not always be happy. You may have sadness and other things too.
You say things, I bet it's difficult because Dad's not here to decorate the tree or bake the cookies or all those other things. And another thing you say, plan for a holiday memory. And I'm not sure what you mean by that. A new memory, a new tradition?
It can be either. You know, sometimes families already have something in place and they want to continue that, whether it's going to a food pantry or a kitchen of some type and helping with homelessness. It may be that they're a family that does a lot of family pictures or has other things that they want to bring out and review and look at. And so those are past memories and those are fine to continue with. And then there's also the opportunity to do something new, and often talking to the child and getting their input is so critical. They may want to plant a tree in the memory of their loved one or create a special memory quilt or do something that the family engages in, and it's new, but it can be ongoing from year to year.
And gives them that opportunity to create a new memory.
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
Beth, you have support groups throughout the year. Do you have anything special over the holidays? Or, and I would think that this would be a tougher time maybe for some folks.
It is. Last weekend, we actually had a holiday remembrance program, a memorial program for the families that had a loss during this past year, and it went absolutely beautiful. Family members got to light a candle in memory of their loved one. They got to share a story or memory, so it was just beautiful.
And that's wonderful that you have that continuing grief support for anybody, really, even people who do not connect with your funeral home. Am I right?
That is
correct.
It's an open invitation for anyone who needs that type of grief counseling, or they just need someone neutral to talk to. Anyone can come, and it's no charge.
Beth, it's a pleasure. And Dana, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Great discussion.
Thank you so much.